So quick definition with logarithms. We're going to look at laws, but we need to know what these things are. So this is the general definition, so that's a log. And then this term that you have as a subscript here near the log is what we call the base of the log. Okay. And then this one is the value. Okay. That's the value. Or sometimes they call it the argument. Yeah. Just depends on who's defining. And then here you have the exponent. Now, what is key to remember is that all this actually comes from this statement, an is equal to b. Okay, so once you apply the log this side and the log that side, eventually you get to something like this. Okay, but we're going to look at all these. But I think the key thing to understand is that this is a general definition of a logarithm. So now we look at the rules that govern logarithms. So the first one is what they call the product rule. So it's if you had a statement like this, x, y. Why is this called a product? It's because you're multiplying these two values or arguments. So what happens is that you maintain the base, but now you can split the values like that. So this pattern, you have to recognize it. So remember the base is here, they are same base because we're taking it from here. The second rule is called the power rule. So these structures we have to remember. So x, y. Remember here, y is an exponent. So what happens to this y? This actually comes and lodges there. So this becomes y, like that. Log, we maintain our base, it doesn't change, and we maintain our value. Okay. Then we have rule number 3, which is what they call the quotient rule. So if you had log a, okay, that's the base, and then we have the quotient here, right? So what happens here? What happens is that it's similar behavior to exponents, except it will become like this. Notice that we split this into that. We did a similar thing when we were doing exponents. Okay. Rule number 4, it's where you switch the bases. Okay. So what causes the switch of the bases? So if you had log a, right? And then we have b, like that. This is the same as the, if I were to create this as an inverse, it'll be the same, but now the base is going to change. This will be b and that will be a. Very important rule. Remember, all these are going to be rules that we're going to recognize in expressions or equations when we're solving them or simplifying them. We can also change the base. So for example, if I have log a b, okay, so this is rule number 5. I can introduce a new base. So for example, I can have log c, but that log c will have to maintain this here on top, and then at the bottom here as a quotient, as a divisor, we'll have a, like that. So this is another. The other rules that we can look at, these are just a bit general. So for example, if you had log a, okay, if you had log a, or let's say log b, a, okay, is equal to something like log b c here. So this will be the same as A is equal to C. Something just to remember. Then if we had something like, let's take this as rule number 7. If we had log, in fact, if we had B, then log B, like that. Then we have, let's say, X, like this. This one gives us X. Okay, so log B, you have B, log bx, like that. This becomes your whole value this side. Okay, and then just to finalize, obviously there is other rules, like if you had b1, this will be 0. Then if we had log b, that will give you 1. Then if you have log b0, this one becomes undefined. Okay, so but the 7 rules that we shown, including these 2, we can say this is 8 and this is 9. So these are patterns that we need to be able to recognize when we are solving or simplifying expressions with regards to logs.